It was October 31st, 1994, Halloween. American Eagle Flight 4184 was supposed to fly from Indianapolis to Chicago's O'Hare Airport. It's supposed to be a short 1-hour flight. Unfortunately, it never made it. The flight encountered some bad storms, wintry storms, icy rain, and unfortunately crashed in this field right behind me. They have a memorial here, so we're going to go check that out today, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the flight. So what happened on that fateful day that American Eagle crashed? Well, the weather was terrible. The weather was just above freezing. There was a wintry mix, there was sleet, there was icy rain. I believe it was snowing in Chicago. The weather between here and Chicago was awful. The aircraft departed Indianapolis, got to 16,000 feet right over our heads here. They were told to put it into a holding pattern because aircraft at the time were not going in and out of O'Hare. So what happened is the aircraft, and this is a model airplane, this is not an ATR-72, nor is this the American Eagle. This is just a model I happen to have. So what happened was the aircraft descended to 10,000 feet, went into a holding pattern, which means it was just doing big circles over my head here, just big circles in the air. And it was turning and turning when suddenly the autopilot disengaged because it couldn't keep the aircraft in that rate of turn anymore. And what happened was the left wing started to dip. Now these aircraft do have de-icing features on them. On the leading edge, on the front edge of the wing, there's a rubber boot. And this boot fills with air like a balloon and expands and knocks the ice off the front of the wing, which is great, and that's exactly what it did, and that's what it's designed to do. The problem with the ATR-72 that was discovered unfortunately after the crash, it had other icing issues that were not talked about, and that plane shouldn't have been flying in those conditions. And what happened was the left wing just started to go down, kept going down. The plane did a roll. The nose went down and started to dive down. Now, it went all the way around like this. The pilot was able to pull the nose up a little bit, but the wing just kept going around, and then finally the plane went into a dive. And at over 300 kilometers an hour, it hit this field behind me. And there wasn't much left of it. Just a vertical stabilizer, which is this piece here, and part of the tail. And that was it. There was debris everywhere, scattered all over this field. There's nothing the pilot could have done. Ice just built up on this wing under the control surfaces, and there was no way to control the aircraft at that point. So very sad. Good thing is, they did learn from it. They did fix some things as far as de-icing goes. A little too late. They should have done it before 68 people died. But that's what happened here in the American Eagle crash in 1994. It's October 31st, 1994. It was an American Eagle Flight 4184, departed Indianapolis on a stormy, cold, wintry afternoon. The flight left Indianapolis, climbed to about 16,000 feet, and unfortunately never landed. Here's the memorial with a nice plaque. Family of those aboard joined with other advocates seeking better treatment of those left behind following such tragedies. It's a nice memorial. I think they built this several years ago, and it has everyone's name. 64 people died in the crash. 4 crew members died in the crash. Here are the names of those individuals. Here we go. American Eagle Flight 4184 departed Indianapolis at 2:55 p.m. Central Standard Time on October 31st, 1994. En route to Chicago's O'Hare International Airport. 64 passengers, 4 crew members aboard the ATR-72 turboprop. So the plane took off. It climbed to about 16,000 feet. Lost control because of severe icing conditions. Entered a high-speed dive and crashed in the second field behind this monument at 3:57 p.m. No survivors. What a sad tragedy that was. That's where it happened, the field right behind us, or right in front of us. Now, before they put this new monument here, this I believe is part of the old monument, they had a bunch of crosses here. And only 3 remain, however. I'm not sure why these 3 remain, but there's some pictures. Unfortunately, look at that. Patty Henry and Patrick Henry, her son, both died in the crash. And a great little memorial here. I'm not going to read it all. It says, my sister Patty and I were both born on January 12th, just 1 year apart, making us Irish twins. And you can read that. That's very sad. Feel free to pause and read that. And there's a book here as well. In the Wake of the Storm, Living Beyond the Tragedy of Flight 4184. And there's photos of Patty and her son Patrick. Extremely sad. And we have Frank Sheridan over here. But there used to be 68 crosses here, marking or representing each person on the aircraft. And we still have these 3. All right, guys, I know this isn't a normal video I usually do. It's not a cemetery, it's a memorial site. However, I remember like yesterday when this crash happened. I was in aviation school at the time, so it was really big news. You know, to lose an aircraft, especially in the modern era of aircraft, to lose an aircraft on such a short flight, and what happened and how there was a design flaw with it and all that stuff. So I never had a chance to come here, and I finally have, and I wanted to bring you along with me. So thank you for coming along with me today. And until next time, keep exploring.